What's going on, everyone? Guild Wars 2 has been rolling out some videos showcasing abilities and animations of the new spear weapon on their professions that is releasing with the Janthir Wilds update in August. So I wanted to share with you some of our initial thoughts and reactions. This one today is the Warrior, Thief, and Engineer. So without further ado, let's take a look. Two-handed spears, weapon preview. Looks like we're taking Thief first. Throw. Oh no. Elite pull. It's like a better 1,000 blades right there. Okay. Engineer. Looks like we're going lots of lightning. Oh. Oh, a nice electric field AoE. Okay. Big lightning strike. Ah, I love that visual. Kind of enhancement shaman-y for me. Just, you know, with a spear. Warrior. It's ranged. I get it. Pretty good though. Pretty good animations. Oh man. All right, what do we want to talk about first? Let me talk about Warrior first. For those of you who know and have seen me play Guild Wars 2, you know that I pretty much only play Warrior. Specifically Berserker Warrior. And if you also watch me, you know that I don't like ranged gameplay on most things, if not anything. And I really was hoping that Warrior wasn't going to be a melee, but I guess with the recent staff acquisition that they got, it was inevitable, along with them just needing another ranged skill set at their disposal. Let's take a look at this one. So it's normal throws. Looks like we got a little back leap, which does do a ground slam. Some debuffing on that. A ranged sky shatter. A ranged falling of spears. Right here. Looks like we mark it, and it does a series of spears striking down from the sky. And then a big ground eruption throw. So it does have a very nice... It does have a nice ranged skill set at its disposal that players will be able to use. I think for some of the more older school Guild Wars 1 players, this is going to be kind of up their alley of getting to be something close to a Paragon. I know Paragon from that time was kind of a bit of a like support ranged warrior type class, which with this spear now, you're going to be able to do that a little bit better than you would have been able to do on, say, the rifle or bow. But Warrior needed another ranged power skill set. You know, rifle just hasn't really been cutting it for a lot, and bow has just been better as Condi, just flat out. So, you know, it makes sense. I get it. I don't like it personally, but that's just me. I would have preferred a melee skill set, you know, just probably a better two-handed greatsword, because that weapon is just so dated. Rush is an atrocity, and 1,000 blades doesn't feel super great either. But, you know, hey, here we are. So I think, you know, I'm sure it'll be a great weapon. You know, they needed another power weapon. Some of this just has to do with the adrenaline system being just it feeling a little dated in design compared with everything else. It's one of the only like very backloaded system mechanics on a class, whereas a lot of other classes have a very front loaded system with just instantaneous usages or persistent usages, whereas adrenaline is just, it's a build up and then spend, build up and dump kind of deal. But running this with your shouts and debuffing and banners and the ranged capabilities of what the weapon's going to offer, I definitely think we'll definitely see Warrior having a very solid place in kind of a like ranged support environment now that they would be able to do. So for the people who are Paragon lovers, this is definitely going to be up your alley. Not my preference, but hey, I get it. Not everything has to be what you like, and that's okay. Now, let's talk about one that I think we did like seeing personally, and that was Thief. So apologies, we're going to jump through this, but I did because I did also really like Engineers. But I thought Thief had a very nice look to it. Thief has always had great animations. So this range throw looks like you kind of tether yourself to it. You tether yourself to them right here, and then you pull yourself in a frontward leap and strike down the ground behind them. And then this kind of looks, like, a multi-hit slash attack in melee range that you would do with the spear. And then it looks like it puts you in stealth, and then you have a rapid jabbing out of stealth. So the weapon is definitely a melee version of spear on Thief. I think a lot of people who were original Staff Daredevil fans will probably really enjoy this version of the spear. The leap into the spike into the ground was a very nice animation. Right here, that flurry strike that we get, that then puts you into the stealth mode. And then from out of stealth, you're able to do this jabbing animation. That's really nice. I think that's going to have a really good feel. This, might end up being a little more bruisery of a Thief. Thief being, as bruisery as Thief can be. Kind of, old Staff Daredevil hopping around, feeling a bit more beefy than the regular Thief. But we'll just have to wait and see for the testing days coming up for people to be able to check that out. But I do love the, in a way, straightforwardness of this version of Thief. It's definitely more straightforward, less cloak and dagger type gameplay. So it'll be interesting to see how this works with some of the other weapons. Staff, spear, weapon swapping, Daredevil. I can see it for sure, 100%. If I were to play it, that's probably what I would go, something around that tandem of it. But we'll just have to see. Now, the engineer, I actually really loved these animations on the engineer. I have a very big personal love of lightning aesthetics on skills and weapons and animations. Might be biased because I grew up through my life playing World of Warcraft and only playing Enhancement Shaman, and that was kind of like a big staple of the class, this storm melee user. But this one's gonna be using a spear on engineer. We got some lightning slashes, a lightning leap, a little bit of a lightning twirl. This was a really interesting bit where you send out these spearheads that basically just alternate around you in a circle, dealing lightning damage. So this is gonna be like, it's gonna be like an electric field. You're kind of like a little bit of a lightning rod with your spear, with this electric field that rotates around you. You have this second spear that hovers with you, and that's what you fire out and spins around your character, dealing electric damage. So I think that's going to be a pretty wild AoE damage ability, potentially, especially if it applies any types of debuffs. It looks like there is a lightning charge right here above as a debuff above the head, but that was a very nice This thing, so Engineer has two actually really sick, very close range abilities on top of the AoE lightning field that we saw. This one, just a strike down lightning bolt from behind. It's just a straight lightning bolt strike down, very, big animation coming down. That was very nice. It wasn't like a very long, exaggerated animation. But then we get this smashdown. This smashdown was so satisfying, seeing the earth crack out around from the point of impact and the lightning shooting out from around the area as well, leaving this molten ground effect with lightning just rippling all over. Very, for me, that's like very enhancement shaman vibey with that type of stuff. So I loved this ability and animation, and this alone, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be checking this out. I'm gonna be checking this out personally. So all three of these were good. Warrior, obviously not my preference, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Okay, doesn't mean it's not good. But these animations were all really great. These were really cool showcases of the spear. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to play out on some of the other classes. I feel like, elementalists are maybe a little worried that they're going to end up with another melee weapon, but this might finally be the time where they truly get a ranged weapon that involves, throwing different elemental abilities with your spear from afar. This would be a good opportunity for that to be the case for the elementalists going forward. So here's to hoping for those elementalist players. Definitely curious how Revenants will play out as well, since they have some good ranged choices with their bow and whatnot, but they don't have a lot, so it's actually very likely Revenant will probably be ranged also. Only time will tell. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the spear weapon on these three classes that we saw recently. I would love to know what people are thinking about on the current weapons that have been shown, what they might think about the upcoming weapons, how you're feeling about the spear overall. Be sure to leave us a comment and a like. And if you want to talk to us about it live, you can catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zav. Take care. Have a good one.